right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this pop-up version of Lava Show. We are going to be melting lava, so a big part of that is feeling the heat. So I'm going to ask all of you to come a little closer. I think we have plenty of space. Let's allow the kids to be in the front so they see if they want to, of course. And then, yeah, okay, perfect. All right, so let's begin. My name is Raka, and I am the founder of Lava Show. Some people know me as Lady Lava, and my co-founder and husband is.
My name is Julius, and obviously I'm Mr. Lava Lava.
Obviously. And, inspired by the great poem Shaggy back from the 80s. Anyway, welcome to this pop-up version of the Lava Show. Can I see who in the audience has been to Iceland? Raise your hand. All right.
Wow. Everybody but us.
Everybody, almost but the two of you.
Thank you for shouting us out.
Okay. Well, you're the odd ones out here. Who's planning on going back? Yeah, woo, love that. Okay, so we are, as I'm sure you know, this is basically part of what's called Taste of Iceland, which is a festival that's been going on for the almost entire week. And we are, for the first time, participating in this lava show, and we are incredibly thrilled to be here with you, able to melt real lava. Now, Julius is going to explain a little bit what it is that we're going to do, and then I'm going to give you a little bit of a background story before we dive in and pour the lava. Go ahead.
Okay, so we are melting lava, and we've been melting lava here since 5 a.m. in the morning. Lava takes a long time to melt because it insulates. It is not a real good conductor of heat. So the lava that we're melting is called basalt. And basalt is the most common lava in the world. I would say 85% of Iceland is made out of basalt. The other 15% made out of other kind of lava. So Iceland is literally a volcanic island that came through the earth crust and rose from the deep of the North Atlantic Ocean. So every rock you see in Iceland is basically lava. So you can literally say the floor is lava in Iceland. And you're not incorrect. So this lava that we actually are melting, we know exactly when it erupted. It erupted in 1918, the 12th of October, when a volcano on the south coast called Katla erupted. It erupted under a glacier. The glacier is around 750 meters, which is around 2,200 feet. So imagine an eruption underneath an ice cap like that. What happens? It's a lot of pressure, and we have a steam explosion that explodes the lava into small particles like volcanic ash and tephra. And actually the lava that we are melting, the source material, is the tephra. It's the black tephra. So if you see a black beach in Iceland, like many of you have seen, you were actually walking on a lava field. The lava underneath your feet just exploded under a glacier when those erupted. So,
yeah. So, before we maybe dive into the lava, I just want to tell you just a very short background story of how Lava Show came about.
Maybe you start telling what the Lava Show is.
Oh, that's a really good point. So the Lava Show is essentially an immersive experience where we superheat real lava up to 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we pour it into a showroom full of people for them to enjoy from the safety of their seat, to see, obviously, but also smell, hear and most of all feel the heat from, because it's quite incredible. It's really, really difficult to try and understand how this really is in nature. And it's incredible how hot even a small stream like this is. You will be able to feel the heat, even if it's just a tiny fraction of what we do in our show back home. We have 2 showrooms. We have one in Reykjavik and we have another in Vík on the south coast. And there we melt approximately 20 times the volume of what we have here. So it's way, way bigger. This is just a taste of Iceland and Icelandic lava. So the idea actually came about back in 2010. Does any of you remember a massive eruption happening in Iceland back in 2010 that stopped air traffic, basically in all of Europe? Yeah.
Can anyone say it?
Almost.
Okay, try it out.
It's Eyjafjörður. It's Eyjafjörður and it ends in Fjörð.
Sorry again.
It's Eyjafjörður, there's something in the middle, and then Fjörð.
Almost perfect. It's Eyjafjallajökull.
I was close.
Very close. Awesome.
You want to try it with me?
Yeah.
I'll say it and you repeat. Eyjafjallajökull.
Diabla, your cat.
Perfect. Woo! Give yourself a round of applause.
Now spell it.
No.
Yeah, we have these weird pronunciations, I know.
And you can imagine when it was erupting in 2010, closing all the airports in Europe, except one. Do you know what airport that was? Keflavik Airport, Iceland. The ass just blew east over Europe. We could still fly to Boston.
Exactly. Which is what we did actually. And actually the eruption, I mean, you know, this was pretty big news, not only in Iceland, not only in Europe, but in the world. So naturally what happened was that this was coming up on the teleprompters, and the poor news reporters, they were just like seeing this on the screen, butchering it, and then very soon after giving up, coming up with their own idea or name for it.
Yeah, they basically gave up saying Eyjafjallajökull and started calling it E15. Because it starts with an E and has 15 other letters. Much easier.
Well, yeah, it's a very American thing, I think. You know, abbreviating everything.
But Icelandic is not doing it any easier. The newest eruption that had erupted like 10 times last 2 years, that is actually hard for Icelanders to say.
Yeah.
That is called Sundhnúksgígaröðin.
So let's just call it S18. But the idea came about very shortly before that big eruption back in 2010, when Julius and I actually went up to a mountain ridge and witnessed the first live eruption that we had never seen. And it was sort of a viewer-friendly type of eruption, and we were there and we actually saw the highest ever recorded lava fall in history. And when I say lava fall, imagine a waterfall. We're talking 600 feet high, but just swap the water for lava. That's essentially what we saw. And we were completely mesmerized. This was beyond words. And very soon after, Julius was pretty crazy dude. He was like, we gotta figure out a way to let everyone experience this. And so we started working on the research and development, and even if it took us years, finally in 2018 we were able to open the first show in the south coast of Iceland. And yeah, it all sounds very simple and easy. I can promise you it was not. But now we also have a facility in Reykjavik, and we have 3 boys, and they proudly call themselves the Lava Boys. So, you know, we all have our own nicknames.
And this basically is a mini sample version of our real show. In Iceland, we do it indoors, which is good because the weather can be pretty shitty in Iceland. But that's a part of the experience, obviously, to go to Iceland. And the amount of lava we're pouring here is like 1/15 of what we do in our real shows. And we do it every single day, 6 shows every single day at each location.
So I think it's time to actually let the magic begin. I want to tell you that, of course, you're allowed to take photos and videos. If you do and you post it on social media, we would, of course, appreciate it if you share it at Tag Lava Show. It's at Lava Show Iceland. You can also take posting photos of Volcano Man over here. Yeah, he likes the attention even more than I do.
That's the extrovert, that's the introvert.
Precisely. Okay, I think, he's not hating this.
No.
I think it's time.
It's time. Let's start. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ja, släpp upp den här micken nu. Nej, okej. Ge på något annat mic.
Det är stort. So here you will see the lava flow. This is 2000 degrees Fahrenheit hot lava straight from Iceland. And this is identical to how it flows in nature. So have you ever heard about Pele's hair? Pele happens to be the Hawaiian goddess of volcanoes, and they've claimed the international word for these. It's basically these super thin strings of lava that form in nature when lava flows over an edge and the wind blows it. So we, of course, have an Icelandic name for this phenomenon. It's Nornahaus. Much easier, in my opinion. And basically now we're going to put ice on top of the lava to demonstrate the typical Icelandic way that lava flows, very often in connection with ice.
You see the bubbles? That's just the steam forcing its way into the lava and making these bubbles.
Yeah, the water or the ice is basically turning into steam right away. It doesn't have time to form a lot of water. And what lava does in nature is that it's a fantastic insulator. So it basically builds a shell on the outside, keeping the heat on the inside. And that is why once Julius here flipped the lava over, you could see how it was still molten underneath.
And you want to touch, there's a prize now.
Please don't touch the lava. The rule number one. And see how fast it solidifies. I mean, it's already becoming almost a solid, taking on this black, shiny sort of texture. And that is actually because this is such a small amount of lava that it cools almost instantaneously. And when it cools this rapidly, it doesn't have time to crystallize and form rock. And instead, it grabs on to the element most abundant, which is silica, and it creates volcanic glass. So now Julius is allowing people to touch. Be careful, it can be sharp.
And the easiest way to melt lava is like this, the strings. You see it?
Be careful, honey. Mr. Lava Lava. Always taking on a tolerance more heat than normal people. So see, even if you want to grab the mic, so even if the lava is already cooling down pretty fast and looking almost innocent and black, it is already, and it's already cooled down a lot, it's still very, very hot. Just see how rapidly the ice block just melted away. And this is also what happens in nature. And actually, in Iceland, we have a lot of flooding because over half of the volcanoes that we have in Iceland are covered with ice. So every time there's a volcanic eruption, the lava melts the ice on top, and there's flooding involved. Julius.
Yes. Hello. Yes. You see how shiny and black the lava is? You're like, oh, this is like glass. So the reason why it's so shiny and glassy, when lava cools down fast, it's not able to crystallize. So it's not able to construct on molecular level and become a stone. So it's bound together by the silica content in the lava. So this is what would be considered volcanic glass. But if I take this lava and I melt it again and pour it into like more thicker, so it's able to cool down slower, then we will get crystallization, and then we have the lava rock. But this is also seen in nature. You probably heard of like obsidian.
Anyone
That
play
is
Minecraft?
volcanic glass.
Yeah.
Or dragon glass if you watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So we are pretty in good position if the White Walkers come after us. We have a lot of dragon glass.
We're gonna be safe.
Yes.
So I think this is the perfect time. We want this, just like we do in our show back in Iceland. We are all about education and hopefully also being fun while doing it. So we actually often talk about ourselves as an edutainment experience. And so one of the things that we do in our show is that we actually allow for questions from the audience. So this is the perfect time for that. Does anybody have any question? Now is the time. Yes, love that.
This kind of glass used in vases and glasses and
Is this kind of glass used in
stuff? In like plates and stuff?
plates and glasses and stuff like that?
I can answer that.
Yeah.
So glass is mostly made of silica, like 99% of glass. When you're making glass, like anything, this is around 45%. Then you see the darkness, why it's so black. That's because it has iron oxide as well. So it has many minerals. Lava has many minerals inside of it, but it's really unstable as glass and will break. So it would be extremely hard to try to make some glass art out of that. Trust me, we tried. And that is not really stable. So lava has mostly silica, like 45%. Then it has iron oxide, aluminum oxide, around 10 to 14%, then other minerals. So lava is just a blend of minerals. And the reason why it's so glassy is because if it cools down too fast, it's bound by the silica in the lava. Really fragile. But volcanic glass can be one of the sharpest objects in the world, and the most sharp knife ever found is actually made of obsidian. It's 3 molecules thin.
And actually, if I can add to this, because this volcanic glass is very fragile, it breaks very easily. So this is not really strong glass, if you will. However, obsidian is made out of much higher silica content. So that is much stronger. And that is why back in the old days, we're talking about Stone Age, you know, the humans that were around then, they were making arrows and knives and stuff like that out of obsidian because it was much stronger than what we have here.
Any more questions? Yes?
Did you have to pay extra baggage fees to get that here?
Yes, good question.
Can you repeat the
We
question?
built this here, the furnace, but the lava we brought with us in luggage, and yes, we paid extra.
It's heavy. It's actually, I do a lot of travel shows, and I take usually some of the rocks, which, by the way, if you haven't already, we do have a table over there with Volcano Man stickers, a lava rock and stuff that you can all have a piece of if you want. And so very often when we travel around, go to these travel shows, meeting with travel agents, trying to inform them about this amazing experience that we have in Iceland, then I take a whole suitcase with these lava rocks. And it's pretty heavy. And I don't know how many times someone has been nice enough to like, oh, let me help you with that. And then they lift it and they're like, do you have rocks in this? And I'm like, yes, quite literally.
Yes. You want to know a fun fact about lava?
Yes.
You probably, most of you have seen Lord of the Rings. Yes? And in the end of Lord of the Rings, if I'm spoiling it for you, you had plenty of time to watch it. But in the end of the movie, someone falls into Mordor, a volcano crater, and he sinks really dramatically until he disappears in lava. That is scientifically really inaccurate. We cannot sink in lava. Lava is much denser than water, 3 times denser, 3 times heavier. So what really would happen to Gollum is like on the surface, then some fire, maybe some bubbles, and then just ashes. No sinking. So what you can take out of that knowledge, if you come to Iceland and fall into a lava crater, you will at least not drown.
You might have a few other things to worry about though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Yes?
How long does the volcanic rock turn into sand?
So how long it takes to turn into sand? So most of the sand, volcanic sand like this, happens during the eruptions in explosions. So imagine when you have a subglacier eruption, starts melting the ice from below. It's under pressure. When water turns into steam, it expands immensely in volume. So you get constant steam explosions that explode the lava into small particles like volcanic ash, black sand. That's why we have black sand beaches in Iceland. It's all exploded by the volcanoes.
Yeah, so some of it goes into the atmosphere as ash, and then the rest basically falls down to Earth, forming the black sand beaches and deserts that we have in Iceland. And this is also something that you can see in some other places around the world. Yeah. How many active volcanoes are in Iceland? So in Iceland we have 30 volcanic systems that are active. They're not erupting all of the time. For instance, right now there's no volcano erupting in Iceland. We do have a volcanic eruption every 2 to 4 years in Iceland. However, lately it's been a lot more. Just over the past 3 years we've had 12. So it's been quite unusual. And now the scientists in Iceland, we have a lot of fantastic volcanologists and geologists in Iceland, and now they're basically saying that we've entered a new active era where it's basically erupting quite often, and this is expected to continue for probably the next 100, 200 years or so. However, these eruptions are relatively innocent. I know that's maybe not a word that most people would associate it with volcanoes.
They're really tourist friendly, so just come to Iceland.
Yeah, and so like for instance, the Keflavik International Airport is about 20 kilometers away from where it's been erupting, and not a single flight has been cancelled because of them. So that sort of, I think, gives you an indicator of how innocent they are. There, of course, are dangers if you come close. So, if you want a safe way to see lava and learn a bit in the process, then, of course, Lava Show is the place to go.
Yeah, there's a lot of dangers, obviously, involved with volcanoes. We have explosions, we can have glacier flash floods, pyroclastic flows, ash covering everything, toxic gases, so molten lava flowing towards you. So there's a lot.
Yeah. Okay, any final question? Yes?
You will
Can you repeat the question, please?
If you stick your finger in lava...
Yeah, don't. There's actually this meme that is, like if you look online, where there's this cartoon guy and he's like testing the lava, and afterwards you can see his finger skeleton.
Yeah.
So
the first rule of Lava Show is do not touch the lava. That is rule number 1.
So I think I want to wrap this up. Thank you all so much for coming. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something. Let's have a round of applause. Thank you for coming. We will stick around, so if you have any questions, we're happy to answer them on a more sort of quiet pace. Also, please do not forget to go over to the table over there and get your own piece of lava. And if you want, we also have stickers and brochures and stuff. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.